and do the pledge with us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show everyone, except Susan is here and she's on the phone. Okay, everybody look over the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, that's approved. Okay, next up is, hey, how are you? Don Ulick, for 30 years of service with Southwest Iowa Juvenile Detention. Don is not here.
Maybe he's just running a little late.
We could skip that for a few minutes if we would. And Andy Brown, Sheriff.
Did you guys send the agenda out to the people that are supposed to be here?
I would tend to think so.
Jason's here.
I would tend to think so.
Chairman Shea, I would move to item E.
I think so too. Because we need to talk about those. Thank you. Item E, Jason Slack, Director of Buildings and Grounds, and Kim Bokatz or Ryan Tursty. HGM Associates, discussion. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, cool. Discussion and a decision on approving and authorizing chairman to sign HGM amendment to cost for the change in scope associated with addition of ADA ramp. Jason, Ryan?
Brian, I'll let you touch on that. Sure. So the letter form agreement covers the design for the new ramp, the ADA ramp for the out front, the courthouse addition. It covers all the different disciplines: mechanical, electrical, structural, civil, are all included in that not to exceed agreement number that's listed in the letter form agreement.
Okay.
We talked with the city through some preliminary designs, and they have given us word that we're okay to move forward with the design based on the preliminary concept that was included. And that's kind of where we're at.
And to skip down, and we're digging through this packet here. Hold on a second. Was there going to be a not to exceed number for you guys?
Correct. Yep. So that's 30,000 listed in that letter from agreement. So
Okay.
Yep, it'll be on an hourly basis, not to exceed that amount.
Have you been working with the contractor?
Yes, we've been working with them to this point. Yep.
What do you got, Jason? Anything?
We'll be working with Mecco Henny and ETI in order to, get the designs for the ramp done.
Okay.
No, the 30,000 is just for the design.
30,000 is a not to exceed number, yeah, and it's just for the
Just for
design.
the design.
Yep.
Okay.
Where are we at with the existing situation?
Elevator?
So, we've been in talks with Mecco Henny. We're currently waiting to hear back from them. They've reached out to the elevator manufacturer. So we've noted some concerns on the punch list. So the contractor's aware, and they're looking into that. And they're working to get a meeting scheduled in the coming weeks to take a look at that.
Okay.
I mean, we need to get that thing up and going.
Actually, that lift is working right now, but we just had some serious questions about why it has a key The key has to be in it to operate it. Somebody could remove the key and just take it, and we wouldn't be able to operate
Catch a
it.
box that,
Yeah, and then there's some workmanship issues with doors that we had questions about too.
we need to get that done, I mean, that's what we,
Yeah. Last I heard, McElhenney was getting something set up. I would hope that they would get something for us this week with PK Elevator.
We check with them today for us.
Yep.
Let us all know,
okay.
please. Okay, questions, comments? Susan, can you hear us?
I can. I don't have any questions.
Okay, okay.
I don't have any issues with it, it's something that has to be done, so I'll move it for you.
I'm the same way. I mean, it's a have-to deal, so
Okay. Was that a second?
that's the second.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Those opposed? Motion carried. While you're here, let's talk about number 2 of this, to remove cash option in the outside parking kiosk.
So, we had a meeting last week with Flash, is one of the manufacturers of this parking kiosk system. They highly recommend that we do not install the cash option on the exterior kiosk because there's a lot of problems in colder climates with that stuff not working. He highly recommended that we did not install it. The inside kiosk would still have the cash option, so there would be the option, for customers to pay cash.
Okay,
But they just wouldn't be able to pay cash outside on that outside kiosk. But with the issues that we will have just because of cold weather, probably just make that thing kind of useless in the wintertime, from what I understand.
okay.
And it is a savings of $30,836 to remove that option from that outside kiosk. So we would be saving a substantial amount of money.
Questions?
Well, do you have the ability to put it back in the future then?
We do, yeah. If we
Okay.
decide that down the road that we want to put the cash option in that, it's just a component that goes into the
Okay.
kiosk itself.
Okay,
Okay,
I'll make that motion.
all right.
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, you guys.
Anything else, Jason?
That's all I have today.
Thanks for stopping in.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. Okay, now, we're gonna back up to Andy Brown. Sheriff, discussion under decision to approve and authorize chairman to sign law enforcement services contract between Potawatomi County and the following: City of Avoca, City of Carson, City of Crescent, City of Hancock, City of Macedonia, City of McClellan, City of Minden, City of Neola, City of Oakland, City of Trainer, City of Underwood, and City of Walnut. Good.
They're all there, all signed, sealed, and delivered. Just for
All
approval.
signed, sealed, and delivered. Questions?
Are there any changes from last year's contract, Andy? Are we going to ever make any changes to these?
So third consecutive year in a row, same question, Tim. That's up to you guys. I mean, we'll still provide the service that we have to give them. It's just up to you guys if you want to raise it or not, so.
Well, the only changes were the population, right?
Yep.
I mean, so there wasn't,
and the,
When 2020 census came out, there was a few changes on that, but that would have been last year's contract, so.
okay,
on paragraph 2 of each of the contracts, several of them refer to a population of 812. The calculations are correct based on what their population should be, but I think the contracts need to be cleaned up. I know McClellan corrected theirs, but the rest of them all, or not the rest, but several of them state the population is 812. I believe that's incorrect and needs to be corrected.
Okay, we'll look at that.
Question, are there any of the towns that receive different kinds of services because of specifically to the town, or are they all the same?
So the only two that are different are Trainer and Avoca, because of course, Avoca has their own police department, so their contract is different, and the trainer pays for extra coverage for us to be there.
Extra.
So.
Do
And
they
all
pay
have
an
that
extra
option.
hour a day, or
What's that?
do they pay the extra hour?
I think it's extra 2 hours, isn't it, a day? I think it's 2
Oh,
hours a
okay.
day.
Okay.
Yep. And they all have the option to do that, but they just are.
And these are, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, these are all just for 1 year, right?
Yes.
So, I don't know what the board's feeling is, but we probably should 1.5% or something. We need to start having some, be able to
And
change.
I personally deliver these contracts every year.
Right.
And I put it on the radar saying it's probably going to be an increase from 3 to 5%, it just hasn't happened yet, so.
And then the other thing would be, they're gonna continue to, and I don't know if they're developing on the Potawatomi County side, but I think some of it, the development is, out at Shelby. We need to kinda get that piece figured out. Do you have some call for service or whatever for that?
We can get it. And I can tell you just anecdotally, we make a lot of calls with truck stuff, you know.
That's what I'm gonna guess, on both sides of the interstate.
But they also pay a contract to Shelby County for their regular, most of their city.
Right,
Mhm.
And so I think negotiations with them are gonna be a little dicey.
but do they come over to our side then?
They'll help us when we ask for it, but it's our jurisdiction.
Right, okay. Well, it'd be nice to have that, kind of know where that's headed. I mean,
Sounds like we're up there a lot.
Yeah, there's,
it's like a little town.
majority of the time, there's property damage access and stuff like that, that the trucks stop all the time, so.
Cause the county line's what, about 3 blocks north of the interstate?
Yeah, it's, about half a mile.
I'll say it's a little further than that, I think.
Okay.
I'd say half mile at the most.
Yeah, I think they're putting some houses there almost right on the county line. I don't know if it's.
Up to 120, I heard,
120.
eventually, over time.
Okay,
I think it's been about 4 or 5 years. Sheriff Danker set up a meeting with all the mayors.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to do that again too,
I was at that meeting.
as mayor,
Pardon?
as mayor.
Yeah. We approved the increase, which everything's more. Cars, pay, everything.
I would just suggest we do it fairly quickly because they start building their budgets, you know, in October, November. And
Okay.
that's the feedback I got from a couple of the clerks is if we're gonna do this,
Do we wanna do it here, or do we wanna do it like in one of the towns?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, we'll talk, we'll get it set up, okay?
I'll make a motion to approve and authorize chairman to sign the law enforcement service contracts between Pot County and the following cities.
Okay.
I'll second.
Thanks for doing that, Andy.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next up. Andy Brown, Sheriff, and Jeff Thulin, Chief Deputy Sheriff's Office. Discussion and or decision to approve and authorize board to sign interlocal agreement with OPPD to stay on the Orion radio system.
so this is just an update to the contract that we've been living on since 2009. It really has no money component to it, it's more of an operating agreement. And you can see all the agencies that are involved in it, but this is our metro-wide radio system. There is a cost, it's not reflected in here, but we do get a fee for every radio that's on the system. We've been paying that for the last 14 years.
Well, are we phasing that out with the new radios or no?
No. We're
Okay.
still on their system.
Okay. We
But
just,
strategically, long-term, there's probably should have some discussions about where we wanna go 5 to 10 years from now.
okay,
But, especially the city of Council Bluffs, really wants us on this system because they talk back and forth so much between, and it's beneficial for all of us.
okay.
But we're not on the Iowa system, which is a good portion of the rest of the state.
Did the new radios take care of that?
Yeah, we can talk to them.
Okay. And I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about the pagers. There was some problems out there with the pagers.
We're trying to get, we have a holdup in Sarpy and Douglas County with their IT administrators to work out something that my old man brain doesn't understand with how they interface. And so we're still waiting on that. I got hit pretty hard by some volunteer fire guys last night about it.
Oh, yeah.
So we're working it. We're trying to get it going. So hopefully we're gonna be able to turn the switch
Okay.
on that pretty soon.
Does this deal with frequencies and maybe interference?
It deals more with, they have to open up their IT system to allow us to do things within their system. And obviously with cybersecurity the way it is, everybody is very hesitant to allow outside agencies to come in there. I mean, if you remember the CHI breach last year, that was from a third-party contractor that got into their system. So they're very cautious, and I get it, but they administer it, so we're kind of beholden to them to do all these things for us. We will be the first 800 paging system for volunteer fire in the metro in this Orion group, so we're kind of the test rat.
What,
Go ahead.
are you done, Brian?
Yeah, I am.
What is the fee per radio?
Tim, I'd have to get it for you. The total is about 330,000 a year for our system. But I don't remember. I'd have to get with Sam and get you the actual. Remember, we tried to come down with the new system, tried to reduce radios, and we have done that, but not to the extent that I like. So we're still working on that, trying to reduce those radios on the system.
Does this Orion system, what function does it do for us?
It is the master site that runs the entire radio system. So OPPD built this system in 2003 or 2004, designed it as an Omaha metro system to allow, before that, everybody had their own radio system and nobody could talk to each other. Part of it was out of the 9/11 stuff, whatever, that we could have interoperability. When they built it, it became so popular that all the agencies in Douglas County came onto it, then Dodge County, Washington County, Pot County, Sarpy County. So we're all on this system now that OPPD administers for the metro area. And it is very helpful. I mean, if we have a pursuit, if we have somebody that jumps in the river, those kinds of issues where we have people from both sides of the river on it, we can all go to common channels, we can all talk to each other. There is benefit to it.
So that's how it works then?
Mhm.
Our deputies switch to a certain channel?
No, our channel is on their system, our normal
Oh.
day-to-day.
So we don't have to do anything?
No.
As
No, they do all the maintenance, they do all the upkeep, that's what we're paying that $330K for.
But our deputies don't have to do anything with their radio to
No.
hear anything?
No, every radio channeled frequency in Pot County is on the Orion system,
Okay.
including the schools.
Okay, so you got police departments in Omaha and Council Bluffs, you got the Potawatomi County Sheriffs, you got volunteer fire departments, emergency vehicles, that kind of thing. Okay.
Secondary roads.
Then the state patrol, are you in communication? You can communicate with all of these agencies?
We can talk to State Patrol, they are on the Iowa system. Actually, the State Patrol is on, yes, the Iowa system,
Okay.
but we have ability to interface with them with the new radio system. So
Okay, and that's
helpful.
still going through this
Yeah,
Orion
yeah,
setup?
yeah.
Okay.
They go through Essex, which is in Des Moines, we go through Orion, but they're patched together.
Okay, so you have no communication issues with any of these?
No.
Okay.
Are the radios in the volunteer fire departments working good?
We've had hiccups in the system all over the place.
Okay.
Hitchcock has really been our latest and greatest. For whatever reason, and I can let Mark talk to it, we can't do well at Hitchcock, which is the highest point in the county. And we've had Motorola technicians in here, and I think they were up there, a week ago again, working on the tower. So we're failing conservation right now. That's the entity that's not doing well under this system.
And that's a microwave link?
It should tower the microwave comes out of the main Orion to the tower, but it's their radios pinging on that tower, which is just line of sight, like VHF used to be.
Right.
And I don't know, you wanna
Towers
say?
Towers in Loveland, right?
Yeah.
So we've always had issues out there, not with the previous radios in the previous system, but, we've always had issues with cell phone, connection, wireless, until we got the microwave from downtown over to the lodge. So it's just, it's a
Could
tough
be.
place, but it's like on top of the hill, like Jeff was saying, so you would think it would be better.
Well, I was gonna say, it could be topography,
And
possibly.
some of it is topography, but
Hmm.
if the old system worked for us, you would expect us to do the same. So they're trying to figure it out. They're working with us.
Good.
And it's just Hitchcock. We don't have any issues at Arrowhead, Bottom Bend, anywhere else in the county, so.
Will you keep us updated on
Yep.
the
Yeah,
dangerous
Chad's
space?
really frustrated, and I completely get it, because when he can't talk and his, guys can't talk, that's a public safety issue for all of us, so.
Yes,
Yeah, we're working it hard.
okay. Thank you, Jeff. Okay. Anything else, you guys? Need a motion to approve or deny?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next up, this independent contractor physician agreements with Dr. Thomas, Dr. Delgado, and Dr. Davis.
I'm gonna let Trish talk to it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so we have those three physicians that have been, on board with us for several years. Specifically, Dr. Davis, who has been our dentist, has not seen any increase in his contracted pay for several years. And we kind of felt it was time to, bring some of his pay up. I know he's voiced some frustration to me, that he hasn't seen administration, and we have vowed to do better at that. And we also said that we also need to recognize the work that he does. And we are, believing that, an increase in his pay, is suitable at this time.
Was this put in this year's budget?
It was not.
Yeah, no, yeah, it wasn't. So, and that was the unfortunate part, was this kind of came about through some of those conversations with the physicians, that there wasn't a regular review of their contracts. So we're going to start doing that. Some of these things are those things that we're discovering as we move along, through mine and Steve's work that we're putting in there, so.
I think the, two docs were 13, was their last contract, and the dentist was 2006.
6 or 7, yeah.
So the doctors came to us and said, hey, we haven't experienced pay raise, anything for a long time, so.
How are you gonna, what are you gonna cut out of your budget to fund it?
We're gonna have to take something out of somewhere.
What, on Dr. Thomas, what was his previous pay?
1,000 less than what he's getting in the current, so.
So he was at 6,500.
He was at 65, he proposed 85. We had the contract, in fact, I kind of screwed up Jeanette's life a little bit on Friday, because we had the contract down here to you guys for 85, that's what we agreed to, went through his legal counsel. Then he got hit with his new malpractice money, which obviously is based on the incident that we had, and it went through the roof. And so Dr. Thomas has agreed to cut it back $1,000 a month to help pay for that malpractice.
How about Delgado? What was his previous hourly?
$10 less an hour.
What is his estimated cost per year?
Ooh, I would have to get with Nina.
Okay, let me just ask you this then. What is the total expected cost of the increase?
Thomas will be
12,000.
12,000 plus the increase in his malpractice. And then the other two, $10 an hour, I would have to get the total numbers for you, and I can get that for you.
Would you do that?
Yep.
For me?
Yep.
And
I
maybe,
apologize for not bringing that, I should have brought that.
maybe we can help you find the, extra money.
If we come in at overtime again, we might take it out of that.
We're already spending that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so should we table this?
No, I don't have any issues
I-
with that.
I think we wanna get them up because they're supposed to start July 1.
Right.
He'll get us those.
I'll get you the numbers.
All right,
I'll move.
all right.
I'll second that.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
You
Thanks
bet.
for coming in.
Beautiful morning to drive downtown.
Beautiful summer morning. Okay, so we got all that taken care of. Other business is David Bayer, Chief Information Officer, Information Technology, and Mitch Kai, Director, Finance and Budget. Discussion and decision to approve board chairman to sign proposal for audio visual upgrades for board hearing room. Okay, guys, you're up.
Good morning. So Mitch, Anthony McCartney, and myself, we've been working for the last several months with putting together an RFP, interviewing vendors, visiting customer sites, contacting other customers about the AV equipment in this room, the equipment that we use to record, the equipment we use to stream, the equipment we use to have audio and visual, cameras, TVs, all those kinds of things. The equipment in this room is nearing end of life. We replace AV equipment about every 6 years, and this summer is 6 years. So, and we've had some issues over the last year or so.
2.5 years. I've been
Last
here
6
2.5, and it's never worked.
Yes.
We're always messing with it, aren't we?
Yes. So, so it's time, and so we've been interviewing several vendors. We had 5 vendors bid on the project, and so we have one in front of you from AVI SPL, a bid for $86,478.78. So,
Who is that from?
AVI SPL. There's a dash in between the 3 letters.
You feel they have the best system for us?
I would say so. I think we had there's 2 of them that really stood out to us that we kind of, thinned it down to those 2. And then we, went into the visit with the similar system that we're gonna go here that integrates into Microsoft Teams that we're kind of doing across the county. So I think all 3 of us were in agreement between me, David, and Anthony that this was the direction to go.
Okay.
and Mitch, you went over and talked to Schooler, didn't you? You went over and saw their system?
Yeah, the 3 of us went over there, and then the representatives from AVI SPL also went through and walked through and gave us some different demos of the different consoles and things. And it really is a pretty streamlined process. It's almost a one button to fire things up.
So anybody can run it at that point?
Yeah, and it'll still have the capabilities too for like if someone wants to bring in their own device to, if they happen to have an Apple or they want to do Zoom versus Teams, some people can still do that. So we're not taking that functionality away from anybody else that uses this room.
Okay.
They're based in Omaha?
Yes.
They're a nationwide company. They have 10 plus technicians over there, but they are a nationwide company.
Have we dealt with them before, David?
No. They sound similar to another company we have worked with called AVI Systems, but they are 2 different companies.
Okay.
So this isn't the same company we have right now?
No.
That's, never mind. I'm not gonna tell her. Okay.
That's a good move. Is that what you were gonna say?
I'm not gonna say anything.
Best you've heard in a long time, I think.
Well, it sure is frustrating when we can't get the thing working.
I agree.
And it's embarrassing at times.
Right.
Okay.
I think January, February, I think is kind of the time frame just for the back order of some of the equipment, just as an FYI there. But.
Okay. Need a motion to approve or deny?
I will make a motion to approve the
Okay.
cost.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Can I ask one more
Oh,
question?
yeah, sure.
Mitch, we've set aside funding for this already. This came in under budget, is that correct?
Yeah, we had originally thought it was gonna be closer to 125 originally, thought we were getting closer to 100, and so this was kind of, it's still quite a bit of money, but yeah, the 84 was under budget, and we have funds kind of set aside to use that.
I think it's, right, I think it's important that we, make sure that we are, providing information to our taxpayers through our board meetings. We can do that by televising them if they can't make it to the meeting, so. I think it's
Make sure you're using the LAC fee funds.
I think it's an important move for us. All right, sorry, Brian.
Good, no problem. Okay. Got a motion and a second to approve. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead and put that amount in the minutes, 86,478.
Yes. It's 78 cents.
Oh.
478, it's 78 cents. I was
And-
being,
oh. Trying to chip this in stone, David.
I'm not helping.
All right.
I understand.
Hey, David, is our current equipment, are we gonna be able to use any of that, or are we gonna sell it, or what are we doing with it?
We will be able to reuse some of it. For example, this microphone, we'll keep that. The speakers will keep. Some of the equipment in that rack we'll keep. The rest of the equipment we can sell. We won't get a lot of money for it, but we can put it on our GovDeals auction site and get $10 or something like that. So
So you
What do you
can't buy
suppose this
yourself
little console
consoles
is
for it.
I don't think I could, no.
Okay.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks for
Thank you.
looking into
Appreciate
that.
it.
Be nice to get that in here. Okay, next up, Becky Linehan, Finance and Tax Officers, Auditor's Office, I'm sorry. Discussion and decision to approve and authorize board to sign resolution 49-2023 entitled Appropriation Resolution to make appropriations for each of the different officers and department for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023. Becky.
Good morning, this is just a resolution, some housekeeping per se, that other counties are doing. I don't know if we're required to do it, but looking back, we used to do it a long time ago. Just sets forth, what the original budget was per department, for the upcoming year.
Even though the budget was approved, you still need to appropriate the money to the
Okay.
departments for the upcoming year.
Okay.
So it's housekeeping, basically. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's just in the code, you need to appropriate the money. Now, there's some counties will only appropriate 85% of the budget they approved, which is, I don't know, there was one county does that, and nobody ever really understands why, but historically, they just appropriated 85% of what they budgeted.
What do they do? Wait till the end of the year?
They
to
might wait to the end of the year
make
and
them
then
come for
reappropriate
each-
the other 15%, I don't know. But it's,
Be a good
even though
budgetary thing to do.
even though you think you're gonna spend it, you still need to make a motion to.
Make you a
actually
lot more
do it.
work.
Yeah, that'd be a little.
I agree with you, Brian, I think that's a good idea.
Don't get me in that. Okay. I said it might be. We need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve this resolution.
Okay.
49-2023.
Second.
Melvin, will you do a roll call, please?
You bet. Chairman Shea?
Yep.
Supervisors Belt?
Aye.
Wickman?
Aye.
Jorgensen?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Next up, Resolution 50-2023 entitled Setting Forth Percentage of Funding for Property Tax Credits.
This is another one, it comes from the Iowa Department of Revenue. We get a letter each year, so I'm just putting it on the agenda so that it's a matter of record. They are funding 100% for the homestead, elderly and disabled credits and military.
Would you say that again, Becky?
They fund 100%
of the homestead, elderly and disabled, and military credits.
Are they funding 100% of homestead?
Mhm.
Oh, just the credit. That's the first, the old original credit. This new thing that's Candy's sending everybody down the hall for is for
That
the
will be for
exemption,
next year.
which is what you'll eat.
I don't believe the state funds 100% of the homestead credit either.
They do, it varies from year to year.
Are they this year?
Apparently, they're funding 100%
Here's the
of
letter,
the
would you like
credit.
me to email you a copy of it?
No, I mean, that's good news.
Some years they would be 65%.
Right.
Of, you know, and usually it was always 100% of the military.
Yeah, I don't know if we've always.
It still is.
Done this
100% of
resolution or
military.
not either.
Disabled credit, low income, homestead, or disabled
Some counties,
veterans
if the state
homestead, I'm
didn't,
sorry.
if the state didn't completely fund it, some counties would eat the rest of it and go ahead and fulfill that.
That's nice they're doing that.
I don't know that we ever did. But the exemption, the upcoming exemption is a different animal.
Okay,
Well,
need
I'm
a
certainly-
motion to
yeah,
approve?
I approve, make a motion to approve this. And this benefits our disabled military veterans. Is that what I'm reading?
Yes.
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 Yeah, we're all for that?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve. Melvin, please do a roll call.
Chairman Shea,
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen,
Aye.
Rickman,
Aye.
Bell,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Becky, thank you for coming in.
Thanks, Becky.
Jana Lemrick, Director of Human Resources, and Steve Winchell, Captain, Sheriff's Office, discussion and/or decision on detention administrative coordinator pay range. Steve's not here.
I told him I could handle it if he's not able to make it.
Okay,
So
that's okay.
we don't have to wait for him.
No,
With the leveling that we added within the jail, we recently added those new positions to add some leveling and some leadership in there. Well, and we discussed this when you approved those positions, that we would be coming back to talk about your detention admin coordinator, because what we've done now is bumped all the pay right up to that position. And so to keep with the leveling, what we're asking for is to move the pay range of the detention admin coordinator. So we're not changing the job description per se, the duties are still the same, but we'd like to move the pay range by 7.5%.
Is that in their budget?
Oh, I did ask Steve that.
I guess
I don't want to speak to that, I don't
I
know.
guess it really doesn't matter. I mean, if it isn't, they need to find the money for it. I mean, if we're only talking,
this is Trish.
$4,000,
This,
$4,000.
this would be Trish, yeah, it's not, I think they would be okay, but I don't want to speak for their budget, sorry.
Thought they'd said something about it.
I thought Steve mentioned that they had the funding for it. I just
think
wanted
he
to make
did.
sure that that's exactly what it was.
Okay,
So then to go along with that too, you have her status change form.
right. Well, and we'll get to that next. Okay, need a motion, one way or the other.
Second.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Jana Lemrick, Director of Human Resources, and Mark Shoemaker, Director of Conservation. Discussion and or decision for approval of job description of office coordinator. Hi.
This was actually approved by my board at our last meeting. We want to move administrative assistant position to office coordinator. I talked to Jana, there's a couple office coordinator positions in the county. So it's not necessarily a brand new job description for the county. It's just modified by us to fit conservation's office and the duties that we're doing in the office. It basically moves from a 517 step 2 to 522 step 3. in the pay scale.
And this job description matches closer to the duties that your current administrative assistant is doing in regards to budgeting, daily financial activities, grant writing, coordinating hires and terminations, especially when we have the busy ski hill season. So this office coordinator role really is what she's doing already today.
Is that your budget, Mark?
According to what I have left in my budget projected, by the end of this year, there's 13,500 in general basic and 18,000 in supplemental, so yes.
No, I'm talking about next year's budget.
Yes, it would be.
All right. I'll move that for you.
I'll second. Mark, I was asked a question, and you probably know, it's off a different topic. Can you fish up in Hitchcock Park for the?
Yeah,
Is it
the rail
fishing?
pond up there, yeah, you can.
Okay.
You have to walk in, but yes.
And what's the name of the pond?
We're just calling it rail pond for right now.
Rail
That was
pond.
the previous owners.
R-H-A-L. R-H.
A-A-L.
R-A-H-E-L.
Okay, gotcha.
Rahal.
So if that's what we continue to call it, we probably will. So,
Okay, gotcha, all right. Thank you.
Yep,
Kind of like the Young Pond.
yeah.
Hold on, got a motion to approve and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Bye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Okay, John Rasmussen, looking refreshed after vacation.
Tired after vacation.
That's okay, that means you had a good one. Discussion under decision for approval of employment agreement for county engineer John Rasmussen.
Sure. I left you guys with a memo on June 9th showing, of 2034, showing the revisions I wanted to make to the contract. I don't know if you want to go through those, but paragraph in your packet was a clean copy. I thought if I gave you a legislative one up front and a clean one later, might make more sense, but.
What did you change? Might as well.
Starting from the top, the term, I guess obviously the years change. One of the concerns I've always had with the contract is sometimes our contracts don't get done by July 1, and there's no continuation clause. So in the term, I added in a continuation clause. If we didn't have a new contract, it continues for the following year in one-term increments. And if you wanted to not renew the contract, either party, it'd be 30 days notice. So, I mean, you still have a way out, but at least if we get to the end of July and don't have a contract done, it continues until we get it done.
Okay, okay.
So I can go through that language specifically, or?
No, that's,
okay.
Unless one of you guys want it.
No,
You good?
Yeah.
I read your memo before, or your email before.
Right. So there's still, and it refers back to paragraph 12 where there's the termination clause, so it doesn't supersede that maintenance. Paragraph 2, salary, I was asking for $148,500. Those wages came from the average of 8 counties we historically compared to throughout the state. Right now, the top county engineer wages are about $165,000 a year in Woodbury. Recent job postings for county engineers have been coming out between 140 and 145,000 to start. So I'm 2 decades in and well behind starting wages now. So I guess that's where I came up with the salary. I was aiming for the average. And that memo also listed the counties. They're Dubuque, Johnson, Woodbury, Dallas, Clinton, Story, Blackhawk, and Scott. So right now, Potawatomi County leads the state in revenues and expenditures. So we may not be the biggest county, but I'm the biggest department in the state. We're definitely light in administration and everything else. We've just been trying to grow at a pace that we're more sustainable. Wage-wise, I rank 29th out of 99. So I feel like I'm behind there. The wages I have now they're definitely comfortable. I just don't think they're competitive. So I want to bring that to your attention.
Okay.
Paragraph 4 and the benefits, just some easy word changing there. about the monthly contribution for insurance is determined by the board. I just changed that to the Potawatomi County Benefit Guide. You publish that every year already, and it's saying the same thing, and I think it just gives a more direct document. Paragraph 6, the employees devote full-time to the county. There's a sentence in there that didn't make sense. Regardless of whether such activity is pursued for profit gain or other, yeah, that word advantage. I'm not sure. If you're working a second job, I thought that was kind of a moot point. The second paragraph is more important. The contract did say the employee shall use vacation time, holidays, compensatory time if applicable, and other non-duty days for said business activities. I deleted the part where it says the compensation for outside business activities in excess of traveling expense. So in my mind, I was on the school board for a while. You're not paid for that job, right? But you get traveling expenses. The way I read the contract is I wouldn't need to take vacation to do that. I always did. I think people should, I guess, if you have something you're doing on the side and you're away from work, it should be
Right.
on leave time. So I just deleted the sentences there that I would use vacation if I'm doing that. I think that's what was meant to be said. I just don't know if it read clearly. Paragraph 7, professional organizations, meetings, and activities. Kind of changed that. It did say that the board could authorize those. I need the professional development to maintain my license, so I went ahead and put in, since the contract's specific to me, that he would allow me to do those sort of things. I did note that participation in national level organizations shall be considered and approved by the board. I mean, those are a lot of time out of state. I think that's something you guys should look at if it's in state or in town, and
Okay.
not necessarily too big of a deal. I think those should be.
That's required for you to keep your license and
Yes,
stuff.
I think 30 hours of continuing education every 2 years.
Just as long as it ain't in Hawaii or anything.
Well, that'd be okay, but I'm gonna ask you before I go.
Okay, good.
Then paragraph 8 was reimbursements for expenses. There was more language in there I struck about the board may reimburse for those expenses and memberships and training. I think if you approve me to go, you approve the payment as well. So I removed some of that language. Paragraph 9, county vehicles, kind of some generic language there that the county employees may be provided a vehicle. I went ahead and changed that to be more specific. The employee's use of a county vehicle is approved by the board in that paragraph. I've taken a vehicle since I've been home, and Friday night I chased a yacht around Potawatomi County trying to get it pulled over. So it does pay off once in a while. The next change is in paragraph 12, termination. If you read the
That's
original
11.
contract.
Number 11 is termination.
Oh.
That's okay.
Yeah, I see we're missing 10.
Oh, okay.
I think I fixed that in the final draft. Yeah, there's a paragraph missing there. I'm not sure. Or the number is messed up, but I see the indents changed there, so something's changed. But if you go to termination, the 2 ways out of this contract were mutual agreement with the board, discharge for cause, termination by the county, and death. So I changed the first paragraph to resignation. So the employee can resign with 30 days notice to the board instead of mutual resignation where you'd have to agree to let me resign. I thought I should have a way out of the contract too. Paragraph B, I didn't change. That's discharge for cause. I struck paragraph C. There was a termination by county for other than just cause. I don't really know what that does. It works both ways, really. Maybe it's an insurance policy if somebody gets terminated, what they get paid out. Maybe it's good for the board to know what they pay out if they just terminate somebody, but I just don't like it. We're not doing that for other employees, and I don't want that in my contract. So I struck paragraph C. Then the old paragraph D, the new paragraph C, death of employee. We had one of those occur in the recent year. I changed this to read what we did for that employee. So, compensation, in the contract, it was through the end of the month. We didn't do that for the employee, so I don't want that. So we'll just do the compensation due and the retirement percentage of the sick leave is what we did for the contract said we'd pay out sick leave. I'm saying we'll pay out the retirement percentage.
You'll still be in the next day though, right?
You'll still have it posted by the end of the week, right?
Okay, hold on. On item C, Jenna, did we make that change in our,
To the other department head contracts, we did not.
no, we made that change in our employee handbook though, didn't we?
Which one?
The death of an employee that we, take care of, any accrued vacation time and sick time at the retirement percentage?
I don't remember if that's exactly what it said, but I think, I can check on that, but I think what John is saying too is that department head contracts read, if there's the death of a department head, they would be paid out through the end of the month. Whereas if it's the death of an employee who's not a department head, they would be paid out until their last working day, and that would be it. So I think what John is doing there for his is, John, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're just making it, you would say you would wanna get the same thing an employee gets, that if you were scheduled to work on Monday and you passed on Sunday, you wouldn't get paid throughout the rest of the month, is what you're saying.
Correct. So,
Okay, so then Tim, you're talking about something different too then. You're talking about, let me pull that up.
I believe we changed that benefit.
We did, right? I remember that.
I think we did.
We paid out the retirement
Right.
percentage. And
Okay.
I think
All right.
there's some debate if
Move
that
on.
was enough or not enough.
Thank you
but
for that.
That's what we did.
Okay.
It gets easier from here. I think the last change I had was in paragraph 16, confidentiality of proprietary information. I struck out the word trade secrets. I guess, I don't know that I have trade secrets, but if I develop something at Pot County, I think it should belong to me, as well as Pot County, but yeah, I don't think I should be denied something that I would create here.
Well, if you created it on Potawatomi County time.
You would still own it, but so would I.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't charge you for it. I think
Okay.
I would get to do that wherever.
Something that changes nationwide is what you're saying.
You don't have time to try to create a patent on something. We need to.
You guys would own the patents, so I'll just have.
Well, that doesn't really matter. Anyway, go ahead.
That's all I had. I really think everything is probably easy for you other than the wages, but still, I think it's worth a discussion.
I don't have any issues with.
I do not either.
I'll move that for you. We're gonna do this
Okay.
separately.
You got anything? No?
John, how old are you?
Wait a minute. You can't do that.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
Yep. And that's that.
You can.
Outside, yeah, I apologize for that, I was just thinking out loud, so.
I'm silvery, old enough to be silvery.
All right.
Okay, I need a second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Thanks. Okay, next up, discussion and/or decision to approve application for permit to display fireworks filed by Ryan Rogers on July 3rd, 2023 at 15259 214th Street, Council Bluffs.
Matt, everything look in order with you on that?
Yeah, I came up here for those.
I don't have any issues with it. I'll move it.
Okay? Second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Next up, discussion and/or decision to approve application for permit to display fireworks filed by Connor Gillespie on July 3rd or 4th in the event of rain at 27538 Dogwood Road, Trainer.
Everything in place for that, Matt? I'll move that.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carried. Discussion and or decision to approve application for permit to display fireworks filed by Robert Caputo on July 4th at 22881 Three Bridge Road, Council Bluffs. Good?
Everything in order for that, Matt?
It is.
When I'm asking that, Jeff, there's insurance requirements for fireworks permit. They're attached in our packet. So
Gotcha.
I'll move that for you too, Brian.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Thanks, you guys. Let's see, committee appointments. Jeff?
None.
Okay. Any of you guys?
Had, east and west, Nishnabotna soil and water, meeting Wednesday for the, drainage district. They've gotten some more grant funding to stay alive. And then, Thursday had MAPA, and then also had the study group with the City of Council Bluffs.
Tim? Okay. Our board meet, and then, I missed my conservation meeting last week. They had moved it. It interfered with some stuff, but, Wednesday I went out to Neola. They had an urban renewal public meeting. I went out there and listened to them. They're doing some really nice improvements within the city. Thursday, we had the city-county land use study, which was a good deal. And then Advanced Southwest Iowa on Friday. Okay, next up is our.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Nope, a receive file.
Yeah, I want to talk about A.
Okay.
One of the things in the petitions that were provided to the board, there are 13 signatures to move forward and 14 against moving forward. So if this petition that we have in our board packet, it doesn't have enough signatures on it to move forward, so I don't know if we even receive and file it, because it's not legitimate and it doesn't have more than 50% of the owners of the land within the proposed district that signed it.
John?
Actually, am I able to speak here?
I mean, I'm just talking
You
about,
can.
I'm just talking about the petition that the board has. There aren't enough signatures, there isn't 50% of the owners
It's
that
actually
signed it.
over 50%. There's 25 votes and there's 13 signatures.
I have 27 votes and 24 of those, I would assume they're no if they weren't signed, and 13 signatures. So I don't.
John, are we gonna speak to this?
Yeah, may I speak to this?
Yeah.
Yes,
Wait
you
a
will.
minute, wait a minute. This is what's on our agenda, is this particular petition. It doesn't, this one does not have enough signatures on it for us to move forward. We don't have anything else.
Right, just a point of clarification. The original petition was page 505. 7K Inc. split their parcels, so they're listed in the first 5 pages as 2 no votes. The addendum, page 6, the parcel numbers changed. So I listed those again and tried to show that the original parcels had split. So
you're
there's
telling
actually
me
25.
these two
2 of the 4 parcels on page 6 or somewhere else in the petition?
They're on page 5 of 5 as well. So from when the petition started to when it was delivered, there was 2 property splits. And that changed the parcel numbers and the parcel identification or description. So the addendum was created so those parcels had an opportunity to sign if they wanted to. That's not well shown, I guess, but that was definitely a point of conversation.
I wish you would have explained that before we got to this point, but go ahead.
What are you saying there?
I'm just saying the original petition still shows 2 parcels. I didn't want to change the original petition. So the last page was just an addendum showing that these 2 should be out. Then there should be 4 replaced back. So that 25 would be the number of parcels.
And there's 13 signatures.
And we have 13 signatures.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I talked to Matt Wilbur about the next steps, and he said we should do the received and filed, which give us about 2 weeks to update the estimates and have those discussions, I guess. But at this point, I think it was probably prudent to do the received and filed, and these other things can be discussed.
Okay.
Probably July 11th, I think is going to be your next meeting.
With that, I don't have any objections.
Sorry for this.
Okay.
Objections with the received and filed.
That's fine. Then we just move on with that. Next up, public comments. Yes.
They,
Hold on.
we're missing 5 additional parcels, and I got information here, I talked to zoning.
Hold on.
You gotta do a public,
Oh, did you sign in?
did you sign in?
I can't. Okay, and then we also
Okay.
Nancy.
I need to read this first. The board will now